Okay, in this video I am making a 3D printed center finder. Well, two in fact, but one's just a copy of the other. And I'm showing you basically, because it's all 3D printed, there's nothing much to show, but there's a bit of video footage at the end of the printing process. But I'm just showing you quick design work that I did, nothing fantastic. Did it in Tinkercad. I have got a Fusion 360, but I'm still very, very, very green with that at the moment. And it's very much a case of time. So basically, I started off with two triangles, one to cut a hole in the other, and then made a ruler and joined them together. That's the long and short of it. I will put a link in the description to these so you can just print them off if you want, and I'll probably do a square as well, because that's very simple to do. And it is dead on accurate. As accurate as your 3D printer is anyway. I was really pleased with it, and the reason I did this was because I needed to find the centre of a circle basically, and I hadn't got, or I hadn't at the time, got a centre finder. Lo and behold, the day that the print finished, I went to an auction and picked up a complete set of centre, squares and angle finder, which is made by Moore and Wright, which is a nice bit of gear. But anyway, back to this. So basically, as you can see, I've two triangles, one in the other, one set to hole function, so it'll hollow it out. And basically I'm just twisting it around, just make sure I'm happy with what it looks like. Going to join them together and I should hollow it out. There we are. So that gives you the first part. So the next bit is the ruler. So start with just a square, lengthen it. I shouldn't have lengthened it the other way. Widen it and flatten it, of course. I do this twice because I actually put a second one on the taper, as you'll see in a minute. Now in Fusion 360 you could probably round off the upper edges slightly, far easier than you could in Tinkercad. At one point I did actually put a taper on one edge, but the way that it wanted to be printed, it wasn't really gonna make a nice edge, you know, it was better just to leave it square. So as you can see, the second one I've just slightly angled and I'm just moving it around so there's very little unevenness at the far end where the two overlap. It's just a very slight kink on the corner, which is fine. Not worried about the bottom end because that's all going to get chopped off anyway. So what I'm going to do now is round off one edge, the edge to the tapered side. You'll see how I do it. What I should have done though is made this a bit thicker. You'll see why later on. But to give me a rounding profile, I'm just going to basically slice it so I've only got a quarter of it left. One thing to do, remember to increase your number of segments on your circles, which makes them far smoother, as you see there. So I'm squaring it up so I've got a defined measurement there. Makes life a lot easier when you want to divide it in half. I know it's 20 wide, so 2 boxes. So that's 1/2 done. Second box, and again I'm just going to move the circle up to give me a nice easy point of reference. There we go. That's that. Join them together. That gives me just 1/4 of a circle. So, right, just bringing this up, and to be fair, I don't quite know why I did this. Let's zoom in a bit, and you can see that just slight on that edge, you can see there's a slight kink upwards where the angle profile takes over. So it's just a matter of just putting this in, and then what I'm going to do is going to hollow function or hole function, and just that's why I should have made it a bit thicker, because it would have covered that profile, but it's easily got round. So basically I'm just trying to move these into a nice tight position, and I'll show you a better example in a second, because I zoom in so you can see on the edges, you can just see a little line on the edge. There we are, you can just see the line, and I'm just want to just so there's just a little bit of it left, so that's a bit tight. There we are. So we want just a little bit of line, and you know that should smooth in nicely when you do that. Now I've just duplicated that, just moving it out just to cover that extra corner that's poking out the back. Put on hole function, join it all together. Rob's your uncle. Nice smooth corner just taking off. So really not a lot to it. Now just got to angle one side off, because obviously the ruler wants to run up dead center of the triangle, not in the middle of it. Like you think they're actually just one edge. So now on this case it's the left edge wants to be absolutely dead line of the center finder, otherwise it's just not going to work. So nice big box to cover it. Put my angle about 45, drag it over. Don't need to go right to the corner, because I can tuck it into the triangle, there's enough meat there. Join the two together when I'm ready. Right, let's lop that off. Now drag that over. Now you could center it with a ruler, but it's easy enough to do by eye. Remember, all the adjustments at the moment are set to millimeter, so pretty much you can easily gauge whether you're in and out by a millimeter just by looking. So just lining it up. I keep clicking on my center view, which is the second button down on the left there. Will center on the object you're clicked on. If you're not clicked on an object, it will center on the whole mass. So there, just lining that up with that edge. Just spin round, make sure you're on there. So because you're set to 1mm segments, you pretty much can do that by eye. If it was any less than that, you'd start to worry where you were dead on, but 1mm you should be able to get nice and easy. And there we are, that's the basic shape of it. It's all looking nice. Don't know what I'm prattling around with there. Don't quite know what I'm doing actually. Oh, that's right, it's because I'd put a tapered edge on and I wasn't happy with that tapered edge. Because when I come to 3D print it, it could cause a problem. And realistically, as much as it will print okay, it's not worth the aggro, because it's not going to cause a problem being dead square. So I basically just deleted it in the end. I just wasn't happy with it. Still just can't make up my mind what I'm doing, but I know in the end that's it. I just decided to delete it, keep it square. And it's easy enough to, when you're doing something like that, just shift something up in the air out of the way to save realigning things. I've spoken to a few people and they have this habit of just dragging them off to one side. Now I just need to get this level. Now, strangely enough, if you wanted a left or right hand one of these versions, it'd be very easy to take my design and just flip the ruler over to the other side. So, for instance, this is designed for right-handed because it would be used just as it is now. But equally, if you wanted a left-handed version, like it is now, so you'd be scribing with your left hand, you could easily just take the two parts apart, drop the triangle down on the other side, and you could make a left-handed one. I mean, you could put the triangle part in the middle, so you could use it either way, but it would make it a bitch to print because you've got no long flat surface. At the moment, it's easy to print on the bed. There you go. Basically, I've just duplicated it, shrunk it. Now I've got two, a smaller one and a larger one. Like I was saying, you could move the triangle part halfway between the two sides, so you could use it left or right-handed. But the long blade would have to be printed with support, and it would be easier just to do it like this. So if you're left-handed, take it apart, drop the arrow down or flip the side over. So here it is, the start of the print. Nothing exciting really. I'm running a Creality CR10 4S, so I've got quite a large print area. You may find that anybody wants to print this, they might have to shrink that the larger ruler down. I think off the top of my head it was 325 long overall. Can't quite remember, but I'm sure it was over 300 long. This is a bit later on in the print. I have used it, and really is quite accurate piece of piece of plastic basically. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to be doing a few other 3D printing videos coming up soon anyway. So thanks for your time. Ta-da.